Welcome to another episode of the Chin Check series. I'm your host, Rubber Life. Today's episode, we're going to talk about the chin of Jermell, Iron Man, Charlo, half of the Charlo twin duo of the Lions Only family. All right, and Jermell Charlo, I will say, out of both of the twins, he is the real lion to me. Out of the twins, I haven't seen them duck any smoke and making excuses. Only thing, like I said, outside the ring, man, you know, they've been pretty much exposed by Jared Hurd, if you ask me. He pretty much turned both of those dudes into kittens, man. Real shit, you know. Maybe it's this persona that these dudes putting up, man. I kind of talked about that a while ago. You know, they got to chill with the talking, man. They talk a lot, and it's going to get them hurt. It's dangerous, but I hope that never happens, but, you know, they run into the wrong people. Niggas ain't trying to heal all of that shit, man. You know, especially, seem like Jermell is the one with the most talk. You know, he talks a lot of shit outside the ring. He said a lot of shit he should have never said, you know what I mean? Talking he'll kill somebody and their wife, and or I'll beat your ass. He talk all kind of shit. I mean, it's cool when it comes to, like, you know, the ring and shit like that, but when you start getting personal and all this other shit, then that's when it become a problem outside of boxing, you know. But let's talk about the chin of Jermell Charlo, though. Okay, but let's check out Jermell Charlo's record, man. Let's check it out. Jermell Charlo, he has a record of 34 wins, 1 loss, and 18 wins coming by way of knockout. So Jermell Charlo is the twin with the lower knockout ratio at 50%. And he has 1 loss. He's never been knocked out. The loss came to Tony Harrison, which was kind of like controversial. But I called that fight, and that shit made me some money, too. It was crazy. I said, for some reason, I was watching some Tony Harrison video. I'm like, yo, he gonna outbox Jermell and then to the win to the cards. People thought I was crazy. And that night, I was like, oh, shit, he actually did this shit. No lie, won me some bread. Absolutely. And he also has 1 draw with Brian Castano, you know, when they was fighting for Undisputed. So, who has he faced, you know, that has some good punching power? Because Jermell Charlo is the twin that's a little less movable. He doesn't move around as good as Jamal Charlo does, in my opinion. He's more aggressive. He's more of a slugger than I think Jermell Charlo. So, you know, I think he get hit more. But you can't really say that all the way, because in the last few fights with Jermell Charlo, he's been getting touched up too. So, you know, don't know. But he's fought some let's go back a little bit. Obviously, he's fought Brian Castano, and in that fight he was getting hit a lot. He was getting hit a lot in that fight. And Brian Castano has a record of 17 wins, 12 knockouts out of those 17 wins. So that's pretty good. That's some good punching power. And there was some signs in that fight where Jermell Charlo was shaking. He was buzzed. He was buzzed a few times in that fight by Brian Castano. He was buzzed to the chin. I seen him buzzed to the chin, I believe. I think to the body once. Got to go back and watch it. But definitely he was buzzed to the chin. Absolutely he was. Brian Castano was relentless. He just kept coming. He's a puncher. But then Jermell ended up fucking hurting him early on and late. A couple of times. Maybe 3 times I seen Brian Castano hurt in that fight. But Jermell Charlo recovered well against Brian Castano. You seen him buzz, but you didn't see him shaky, where he was dizzy looking and all disoriented. You never seen that. Then he fought Jason Rosario, another power puncher, back in 2020. Jason Rosario has 21 wins and 15 wins by way of knockout. So he has 60% KO rating. So, you know, he has some pop. But Jason Rosario, I think he hurt Jermell to the body, actually. I think once. I think I seen Jermell hurt to the body in that fight. I didn't see him get hurt to the chin. But ultimately, Charlo ended up stopping Banana to the body, hitting him to the solar plex, had him on the floor. Like, he was curled up on the floor like a broad that just experienced her first menstrual, man. It was crazy. Tony Harrison, he knocked him out back in 2019. Tony Harrison has decent power. A lot of people don't really look at Tony Harrison as a puncher. But Tony Harrison has decent power. 28 wins, 21 of those wins coming by knockout. So Tony Harrison, although he's known, I don't understand it though, because when you hear a lot of people, I heard like commentators say that like, he's not really known for his punching, but the guy has 21 KOs out of 28 wins. What are you talking about? And Tony Harrison in the first fight, he was more of a defensive, he's more outward boxing. He was outboxing a lot more in that fight, but he was landing some shots on Jermell Charlo too. I'm trying to think, did I see him buzzed in any of those two fights they had? I think I may have seen Jermell buzzed in the first fight. I think I seen him buzzed. I don't remember exactly what punch it was, but I think Tony Harrison did buzz him in one fight. The second fight, I didn't see Jermell buzzed at all. He was like a machine in that fight. He ultimately knocked out Tony Harrison in their rematch because Tony Harrison likes to fade towards the end of fights. Also, he likes to get stupid and reckless and try to trade with somebody that has more power than you, and you're not as, in the inside, he's not as defensive in the inside, and seeing what happened, right? He got rocked. Okay. Back in 2019, he also fought a guy named Jorge Cota. That was been in between the Tony Harrison rematch and the first fight. This guy had 30 wins with 27 wins by the way of knockout. Absolutely higher KO rating than Jermell Charlo himself. And Charlo knocked him out. And I never saw Charlo hurt in that fight. I remember that fight. Never saw him hurt. Austin Trout's not really known for his power. Everybody know what happened with Erickson Lubin. He didn't even get a chance to really touch Jermell as much, and he ended up getting knocked out. I had thought it was Jermell that knocked him out, but it was actually Jermell Charlo that knocked him out in the first round. So all of these, when you look at his latest fights, he was kind of stepping up in competition. All these dudes they're punchers, bro. And I got to give it to him. He's fighting punchers, bro. He is. Jermell Charlo, he's fighting punchers. From Tony Harrison to Brian Castaño, all these dudes are punchers. Jason Rosario, Brian Castaño, Tony Harrison, and Jorge Cota. These dudes are punchers. And each fight, he took all those punches extremely well. Even though I seen him buzz. I think Tony Harrison did buzz him. Jason Rosario hurt him. Brian Castaño definitely hurt him. But his ability to recover is extremely good. So he recovered great from all those fights, took all them shots, and came back and knocked all of them out. Besides, except Brian Castaño, which went to the cards. So I would have to say my official report card for the chin of Jermell Charlo would have to be A. I give Jermell Charlo an A-class chin. Probably got to put a world-class stamp on that, man, because he's facing some punchers. You got to give it to him. He knows how to recover from them shots. You never see him physically out of it. So you got to give dudes like that, when they taking shots from heavy punchers, and even if they get buzzed, you got to give him some kind of credit for withstanding that, not getting knocked down, not looking like he's about to get out of there, and that's Jermell Charlo. So I would have to give Jermell Charlo an A-class chin with the world-class stamp on it. That's just my opinion. Let me know what you guys think. Drop a comment, like, and subscribe. This is Rebel Life Boxing. Catch y'all later on the next one, and I'm off this.